Okay, so it's nice and flush down this end. It seems to be, I think I've got it pretty well into the corner there, although I'll give that another quick sand. A little bit of bowing there, but otherwise it seems to be fitting quite nicely. A few marks will sand off, obviously. Up the front here, I think it's a little bit of a high point. Can't really see it down in here. So it's sort of bowing out. I think it's too much. It's sort of bowing out there, which means a little bit's got to come off that lower there. You can see the gap and then it drops down a bit. So I'm going to try and take a little bit of that deck off. I've got to fill this. And then maybe just a bit off that corner. The next step is I'll start taking some measurements. So the plan is this. The windows come out and I lay obviously the plywood skin across the panel. I have this long piece of thin pine, it's timber, which will effectively be the clamp. See if I can sort of set it up for you. Oh. So it's basically going to sit and sandwich between the panel, sandwich between the skin, plywood, and the panel. And to tighten it, I'll have a bolt through each of the windows, which will go through the I'll drill holes obviously through this, let's just call it a stringer or whatever you like to call it, clamping wood, and then along the length I'll have additional pieces of timber to even out the pressure on the skin, on the plywood, as best as possible all the way down. So that way, and then obviously the bolt goes through, there's another piece of timber on the other side which I tighten up against, if that makes sense. It'll all make sense once I've started it. Okay, so that's the last piece of the puzzle. 2-part epoxy filler. I know it looks a bit of a mess, but it's great stuff, this filler. It's Norglass, and it sands so easily. It's very easy to shape. And the glass is coming out anyway, be cleaned and all the rest, so that's no big deal. So that's filled in that. And the great thing is you can actually lay it, even though the wood hardener is still setting, you can put this stuff on top and it won't affect it, which is awesome, so I don't have to wait. So that's that, and then obviously just around the edges here, and then that rather large piece there. That's it. So that's it. It's done as far as I'm concerned. Once everything's dry, quick sand to key it up a little bit for the adhesive, but otherwise ready for the skin. The front doesn't really need, forward panel doesn't really need a lot. It's got some old filler in there which I'm not going to dig out. I'll just, once the, obviously got to pull the beading off and tidy it up like I did on the side. So there we are. Nice one.